staying on the defensive side of the ball, I'm going Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm calling it their defensive line, but we know it's the old school Steelers 3-4. It's their defensive linemen plus their outside linebackers. I didn't want to just say pass rushers because I think they could play the run as well. But the depth that they have up and down their line, of course, led by TJ Watt. But even down the stretch last year, I was just sorting through some stuff on PFF recently. If you just look at the highest graded pass rushers in the second half of last season, it's not even TJ Watt. In the NFL, Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig are in the top 6. That's the 2 and 3 edge rushers behind TJ Watt, and they drafted Jack Sawyer, and they drafted Derek Harmon in the first round, and they still have Cam Heyward playing at a high level. They have Keanu Benton. This might be the very best front 7 before you even get to the inside linebackers, but certainly the best group of pass rushers and what we'll call a defensive line in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. I had the Steelers defensive line. I called it the same thing, the D line. That it could be a nasty unit. I mean, Cameron Heyward is still playing his best football deep into his career. TJ Watt is a superstar. Alex Highsmith, I think, has become a superstar. He just gets overshadowed because TJ Watt is on the other side. Nick Herbig is one of the best situational pass rushers in the NFL at this point as a guy off the bench in rotation. Keanu Benton is a good player on the defensive line. And then Derek Harmon comes in as, their sort of big splash play early in the draft. And that's before you even get to the sort of complete throwaway additions of guys like Yaya Black, Jack Sawyer. Like, okay, Jack Sawyer is a marginal to bad NFL athlete, but was an exceptionally productive and good college player. If he's anything at the NFL level, it's a complete and total bonus and just somebody that they have, adding insane depth. So the sort of starting, 4 or 5, however many guys you want to go, and then the first guy off the bench is really good. And there's a whole layer of players that are just bonus picks if they end up doing anything as well. It could be absurdly good. And I think the floor for it is like one of the best defensive lines in the NFL.
Yeah, you could argue. I mean, I don't think anybody would say that, there's other better, I think, pairs of edge rushers than TJ Watt and say Alex Highsmith. But as far as the top 3 goes, when you add Herbig in there, I'd say that's probably the best. Top 4, when you add Sawyer in there, I'd say that's the best. And then Derek Harmon being added, a guy, I think he's a better pass rusher than run defender, similar to Keanu Benton. And then Cameron Heyward, still very productive. That trio, man, they can all get after the quarterback. So you're talking about on early downs, you'll have 5 legitimate threats to get after the quarterback with your 3 down linemen, your 2 outside backers in that system. On passing downs, you're going to have 4 legitimate threats with your 4-man rush. And if you did want to add, a Herbig and move him around or whatever it might be, you've got mismatch potential. So absolutely love this unit. I do think they're better rushing the passer than they are stopping the run. But as a total group, similar to the Ravens, I think the high-end players are elite with a TJ Watt or a Cameron Heyward, but also the depth and everything that they've added. Just an outstanding job by the Steelers the last couple of years to build this defensive front.
Yeah, and in an ideal world, you'd want the entire line to be elite at both run defense and pass rush. But if I have to weight it in one direction, it's weighted in the right direction. Like I want the destructive pass rush more than I want the brick wall of a run defense unit.
And look, we're a couple weeks away. We're going to get back into the studio and really kick off our season preview series and just get ready for 2025. I think the Steelers come into this year as one of the biggest wild cards, in part because you don't know what you're going to get from Aaron Rodgers. The idea that, okay, this might be his last season. He's hinting at that. A lot of superstars tend to turn it on at various points when they want to, right? Rodgers MVP season after they drafted Jordan Love, or like Ray Lewis down the stretch going to win a Super Bowl. That's going to be a big wild card. But I think the Steelers are set up to have one of the best defenses in the NFL, in part, because of the way they've built this with youth and, of course, the veterans like a TJ Watt and Cameron Heyward. So they're set up to either have one of the best defenses, and then it kind of comes down to the Aaron Rodgers wild card. But I think the defense could really pave the way for this team.
Yeah, I do feel like people are sleeping on this defense a little bit. Okay, there are some weaknesses in the starting 11 or, in the group as a whole, but the defensive line that we're talking about, like that has the capacity to be so good that it, papers over some of the cracks or hides some of the relative weaknesses. And like this, I do think that like league leading, destructive, terrifying defense is within the range of outcomes of this group. And that changes everything about, their prospects as a team overall, roster wise, top to bottom. Like the Steelers are not as good as the Ravens. They might not be as good as, the Bengals or some of the other contenders in the AFC. But like if that defense plays at that kind of level, that kind of output and production, it changes what they're capable of doing. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.